So today let us see about power supply and types of input and outputs. How can you connect input output to the PLC? So that's the for today class. So from the figure you can see here, the PLC is powered with help of DC power supply, that is the 24 volt DC. So it means what? We need externally one rectifier. Okay, we need externally one rectifier which can rectify from single phase voltage into 24 volt DC. So generally the PLC is powered with help of 24 volt DC. You know, digital circuit means there should be DC power supply, not AC power supply. So that you have to keep in your mind. What are maybe the digital circuits? So the digital circuit should have DC power supply. Fine. Now most of the PLCs works on 24 volt DC. That means in power supply input, the power supply input to the PLC should be 24 volt DC. Now some of the PLC can have inbuilt rectifier. Then you can directly connect the PLC to 230 volt single phase. Then this uh, this 230 volt can be converted into 24 volt DC internally. So that's the thing. Fine. Now from the figure you can see here there are fuse. They have used the fuse for positive and negative, and there is a ground. So ground generally used to avoid the noises. If there is any electromagnetic noise comes on the power supply, then automatically we can ground it with help of the ground. Okay. So most of the PLC should be connected to the ground to avoid some noises in the power supply. That's the thing. Otherwise, what will happen? It may disturb the circuit, the PLC, for the purpose. Fine. Now let us see the next. You can see the block diagram here. In this block diagram, there is a power supply to the PLC. So basically, internally, if you see, the power supply will be distributed, or you can say internally divided to input model separately, output model separately, then for CPU separately. So basically, this is the PLC, and this PLC can be connected to a computer. So with help of computer, you can do the programming of PLC. So once you do the programming in the PLC, then you can upload. So once you do the programming of PLC in the computer, then you can upload this PLC program into the PLC. So that communication between the PLC and the computer, it can be RS-232 or it can be some other types of port also. Okay, using Ethernet cable also we can upload the program like that. Okay. Now from the block diagram. So first we talked about this power supply. Already we talked about the power supply. As I told, it converts AC line voltage. Like in our India, we are using the 230 volt for single phase. Okay, or external DC power into clean regulated low voltage DC. It means what? There should not be any AC spikes. So that they want to say. Similarly, the voltage should be regulated. The voltage level should not change. It should be almost equal to 24 volt. So that's the thing. Okay. So then only you can run the PLC without any problem. That's the thing. Fine. Then you can protect that PLC using fuses, as I shown the previously in the first. Okay. So that they want to say here, ensure stable voltage to protect internal microprocessor and sensitive electronics from fluctuation in line power. That means what you are telling, for system protection, that is especially for the CPU of the PLC system protection, the voltage should be regulated. So that is, there should not be any fluctuation. So that is very, very important. Fine. Then let us see about next. Let us see about the inputs. So once again, let us see this block diagram. Once again, you see this block diagram. Once again, you see this block diagram. The input. Try to see the input model. These are basically push button. Look like a push button. By symbol, it's a normally open. This is a normally closed. Again, it is a normally open. It's normally closed. So, what are the different types of inputs are there? What are the different types of inputs are there? So, let us see about the input and what are they mentioned here? Optical isolation. Before also in last class also I was telling there will be optocoupler between input and CPU of the PLC. So this is the input model, but basically it is a built-in input model. Like in the lab you might have seen in the Rockwell automation. So the digital inputs are connected or directly to the PLC. Analog inputs may be connected by with help of the external module, but the digital input can be directly connected. So this can be called as a digital inputs, okay, or discrete input also. Fine. Now by the symbol you can see here. By the symbol already we saw the symbols also in the input model. Okay, for different symbols what we use in the automation. So that the input model you can see here the symbols. Basically it is a push button. So this is a normally open push button. This is a normally closed push button. And this is what limit switch. This is a limit switch. Now you should know the limit switches are operated by process. The limit switches are not operated by human being. So try to understand what I shown here. The bottom, these two symbols. Okay, these are not operated by human, but top two switches are operated by push button. The top two switches are operated by push button. Fine, like that. Now let us see about this. So this inputs, what I shown, that input can be called as a digital or discrete. These are binary inputs that only exist in two states, on or off. Then what is the voltage for on and what is the voltage for off? Okay. So basically, if you talk about in digital, for showing digital input, we generally make it as a 5 volt. Okay, and to make off digital output we show it as a 0 volt. But in PLC it is not like that. In PLC it is not like that. To show the one logic, the input voltage will be 24 volt, and to show the logic of 0, the voltage will be 0 volt. Okay, so the PLC input will be always either it can be 0 or 24 volt. Okay, for the digital or discrete input. So that is very, very important. Fine. Like that, okay. So already we saw that is a push button. Okay. So that's the thing. Then normally open we saw, normally closed. You know what is meant by normally open and normally closed. Then there is a limit or selector switch. Okay. This also already we saw in the last classes. What are the different switches? Okay. But whatever may be, okay, the power supply to the inputs, if it is digital or discrete, it will be always 24 volt. So according to this block diagram, you will connect 24 volt here. You will connect the 24 volt. So whenever you push this button, okay, the 24 volt will be passed to the input model. Then just I want to say one thing. For example, we are giving 24 volt input to the input model. Then what about the voltage to the CPU? Will it be same 24 volt? No, it can't be 24 volt to the CPU. So again, what will that do? The 24 volt will be stepped down into 5 volt. or it may be depends upon the what technology IC they are using inside the CPU. For example, if there's the CMOS technology to show one, that is to show the digital one, it can be just 3.3 volt. It is more than enough. Okay, and to show the digital logic 0, it can be 0 volt. Fine, like that. Okay, so from the input model to the CPU, the input status are transferred as a 3.3 volt. So that means what? The 24 volt will be stepped down. How will they step down? With help of some circuit. So, but basically they used to connect this CPU with the input model using the opto isolator. So that's why they mentioned it as a optical isolation. So this is very important. Okay. So when you try to start work with the PLC circuits, fine, like that. So basically CPU can take the input as a 3.3 volt or 5 volt. If it is CMOS technology, then it will take 3.3 volts for one logic, and if it is TTL logic, then the one is represented, the one logic is represented as a 5 volt. So this thing you should remember. Okay, so that is very important. Fine, like that. When I talk about output devices, let us see once again this block diagram. When I say this in the block diagram, from the CPU, again you are using opto isolator, then you are giving to the output model. So the output model again, you can see here, these are the digital output or discrete output. So the top one is the solenoid, and it can be like any motor, okay, or it can be light, it can be like a speaker, like that. Fine, like that. Again, the voltage given to this output here, these are 24 volt DC. So that means if you want to switch on this coil, solenoid coil, so you have to give 24 volt DC. But what signal you will get from the CPU? From CPU you will get 5 volt or 3.3 volt only. And that should be boosted to 24 volt using some internal circuit. So already you might have studied or you may study about the that how do you boost, how do you buck the voltage. Okay. So that's the thing. Fine. So basically this output model also powered with help of 24 volt. Fine. So that's the thing. So they may use here relay. They may use here relay logic at the output model, as I told in the previous class also. Fine. Let us see about the output. It can be output can be like a solenoid valve. Heater, generally heater is not directly connected to the PLC. It should be connected to through the relay. Okay, so this is the relay. Fine, like that. Then motor, in fact motor also not connected directly to the PLC. You should be connected through the relay. Then pilot light, so our indicator lamp. Already we saw about the when we saw the symbols of or switches of the PLC. Then there is a buzzer, so it is basically audio alert. It is used for the audio alarm or as well as a audio alert in the industry. Fine. So like that. Fine. Now let us see about the analog inputs. In the block diagram, I have not mentioned the analog inputs. Okay. So as you say in the digital or discrete inputs to the PLC, it should be always 24 volt. Okay. But if you want to represent like a temperature, what is the temperature? Maybe temperature may changes from like a room temperature from 25 degrees Celsius to it may go maximum uh, like a 500 400 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now how do you represent to the PLC? That means how will you give the temperature range or temperature data to the PLC? So obviously we require analog input like that. Okay. To know the process parameters like a temperature, pressure, fluid flow, okay, or motor speed. So all these things should be given as a analog input to the PLC like that. Okay. So analog signals allow the PLC Okay, to measure precise value and dynamically control equipment smoothly across spectrum. It means what? Based on the analog inputs only, you can control the output. For example, if you want to manage, if you want to manage boiler temperature, then you may maintain some temperature in the boiler and pressure. So at the time, so we will try to measure the what is the boiler temperature. So if it is increasing very fast, we'll try to bring out to the particular point or particular level. Okay. Similarly, if it is very low temperature, so we will try to increase the temperature by uh, giving the input to the heater. Okay. So like that. Fine. So that will not, that means an analog input, there will not be any like a discrete. It cannot be like a 0 or 1. It will change from 0 to some value. What is that value? The standard industrial signals, whether it may be input or output. So it can be 0 to 20 milliampere, or it can be 4 to 20 milliampere. You see, the first one tell about 0 to 20 milliampere. The second one tell about 4 to 20 milliampere. So it starts from 4, not from 0. So the 4 is also called live 0. Okay, that means if your analog signal start from 4 instead of 0, then the 4 is called as a live 0. We will talk about what why do you have this live 0 later. Okay, but have that okay concept of live 0. So the analog output can be 0 to 20 milliampere, and input also it can be 0 to 20 milliampere. Like that, input can be 0 to 20, 4 to 20 milliampere, and output also can be 4 to 20 milliampere. Then this analog input can be 0 to 10 volt, or it can be plus or minus 10 volt. It means what? The voltage range will change from minus 10 volt to plus 10 volt. So that means what is the span here? From minus 10 volt to plus 10 volt, the voltage span, it will change from okay minus 10 to plus 10, it is around 20 volt span. Like that here 0 to 5 volt. The analog input can be 0 to 5 volt, and it can be plus or minus 5 volt. That means the voltage will change from minus 5 volt to plus 5 volt. Again the span is here 10 volt. Previously we saw here 20 volt span in the plus or minus 10 volt, and here plus or minus 5 volt, the span will be around 10 volt. Okay, so these are the different voltage or current signal to the PLC, or okay the same type signal you may get as a output also. Other than that, you may connect sensors, you may connect sensor directly to the PLC. Maybe sensor, it can be like a RTD, resistance temperature detector. So it is used to okay measure temperature, and similarly thermocouple. It's also used to measure temperature. So these are the basically used as a inputs. Which one? RTD and thermocouple. It can't be like a output. It will be always input. Fine. Understood? So like that. So when you compare about the analog and digital input outputs, so for discrete or digital type, the logic will be 1 or 0. To show 1 or 0, it can be 0 or 24 volt. And for analog input output, it will be continuous and variable range as we shown the before slide. Fine. Then processing. Okay, so bit state, so it will like in the CPU, it will take it as a 1 and 0, but the voltage level will be different. At CPU, it may be okay 5 volt, or it can be 3.3 volt. Fine. So and when you talk about analog input output, okay, so at the CPU, it will be in terms of digital. Like you might have seen, if it is what is the 10 bit in Arduino board, you might have seen for 10 bit ADC, the digital value will change from okay around 1000 uh, 26, I think, isn't? I hope you know that. Okay. So like that, okay. This is the digital count. Depends upon the number of bits of PLC. Depends upon the number of bits of PLC. Fine. Then typical input example, push button limit switch for the discrete, and it can be okay data from the or signal from temperature sensor, flow sensor, or pressure sensor, like that. Okay. Then output typical example for a discrete input output, again, okay, this like a on relay coil, or it can be pilot light like a indicator light. Okay. And here variable frequency drive, it may be our modulating valve. So that means we can open and close the valve, okay, smoothly, not simply on and off, like that. Then you can do speed control of motor, or you can control the SCR to uh, heater. Okay. Then similarly, industry role, this basically switching. Okay. And again, this for the process control. Unlock input outputs are basically used for the process control. Fine. How the inputs are connected? How the inputs are connected? Okay, you can see here. Okay, this diagram. How the inputs are connected to the PLC. Fine. So this you can realize only when you do practically the connection of PLCs. Okay. So this how they are doing. Okay. Let us see about this diagram. Okay. So internal signal conversion. The PLC convert incoming 4 to 20 milliampere analog current signal into standard 1 to 5 volt. But basically it should be 0 to 5 volt. It should be 0 to 5 volt voltage signal. Okay. So that is internal impedance. The impedance of the input will be around 250 ohm, that they are representing in the block diagram. Okay. So it can be like a 2-wire setup sometime, or sometime it may be 3-wire setup. Basically, in the instrumentation subject, you might have studied about the RTD. The RTD wire configuration, it can be either 2-wire type or 3-wire type. So how will you connect the 2-wire and 3-wire? Okay. So that was representing here. Okay. Like this. Here you can see here. Okay. 2-wire, 3-wire. If it is 2-wire sensor, how will it be connected? And if it is 3-wire, how will it be connected? Okay. So that they are telling about it. Fine. Then shield against electrical noise. So when you take the cable of sensor, there will be some shield. Okay. So why do you use the shield? To protect delicate analog signals from electromagnetic interference. There may be some electromagnetic interference that will create problem. Okay. To avoid the problem, the sensor cables are protected with help of the shielding. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, the signal cable use an outer foil or mesh shield ground at one's end. So you might have seen like, okay, so this is the ground, the shield wire. This is around this the analog what I say signal wire. Okay, this is surrounded by a shield. Fine, and the shield will be connected to the ground, so that if there is any electromagnetic noise come, that will be okay grounded, and there will not be any problem to the PLC. The same thing for output also. For same thing for output also. So analog current or voltage. Okay. So that will be, you can see here. Okay. There they are how they are connecting this analog output with the load. Okay. Like that. So both current and voltage signals are wired using shield cable. Again, they will try to use the shield cable. So this indicate the shield. You can see the cross lines. Okay, this indicates the shield. So this shield will be around the wires. Okay, so to protect the output signal from the electromagnetic noise. So this is about the analog input and outputs.